"You're pregnant?" he shouted, backing away like I'd pulled a knife. I was frozen, staring at the wall behind him at the photo that changed everything. That was my husband, standing next to the man I just slept with. Brothers. "Who is this?" I whispered, my voice cracking. He smiled, clueless. "That's my big brother, lives in Germany with his wife and 2 kids." My throat closed up. 2 kids? My husband has 3. Oh my God. 2 years ago, if you told me I'd be in this mess, I would have laughed in your face. 8 years of marriage, 3 beautiful kids, a husband who used to kiss me like I was his oxygen. We were solid, or so I thought. Then he got deployed. Germany, some high-level IT security position with the military. At first, we FaceTimed every night. Then it was every other night. Then, excuses. Dead zones, late calls, missed birthdays. He comes home 3 times a year. For 2 weeks, he plays husband and daddy like a damn Netflix special. Then, poof, back to his other life. The loneliness crept in slow. I'd cry myself to sleep, clutching a pillow instead of a body. Eventually, I stopped crying. I started coping. That's when I met him. It was supposed to be just a night, a glass of wine, a hot stranger, a mistake I'd regret in the morning. But I didn't regret it. That one-night stand turned into an every-night addiction. I didn't know much about him at first. Just that his name was Devon. Tall, smooth, smelled like expensive cologne and trouble. He never asked questions, never pushed, just made me feel seen. He didn't know I was married. I didn't want to ruin the illusion. We started meeting more. Hotels, back seats, late-night drives. Eventually, he invited me to his place. I told myself it was just convenience. But the truth was uglier. I wanted to pretend I had a second life too, a better one. His house was cozy, well-decorated, smelled like candles and cinnamon. No signs of other women, no drama. I felt safe. Until yesterday. I'd just taken a pregnancy test that morning. 3 pink lines. I blinked and blinked, but the result never changed. My stomach dropped so hard, I could have passed out. I didn't know what to do, so I did what I always did. Went to Devon's house. I needed comfort. I needed to feel like this was good, somehow. He was in the kitchen cooking. "Mi casa es su casa," he called out, laughing. I wandered through the living room, trying not to spiral. That's when I saw the wall, a collage of framed photos. Birthdays, barbecues, laughing family. And there he was, my husband, arms slung around Devon's shoulder, both grinning like fools. In another photo, he held 2 kids, my kids. No, wait, these kids were dressed differently, had a slightly different smile, but the resemblance was unreal. My blood went cold. I sat down, numb. Devon came back in with 2 glasses of wine. I took one, my hand shaking. He followed my eyes to the wall and smiled. "Yeah, that's my brother. He's in Germany now. Miss him like crazy." I swallowed hard. "Is he married?" "Oh yeah, wife and 2 kids. He talks about them all the time." I nearly choked. 2? He has 3. Or does he? I didn't even hear the rest of what Devon said. My mind was spiraling. Did he lie to me? Does he have another family? Or worse, did I just sleep with my husband's brother? And now I'm pregnant. What the hell do I do? I couldn't sleep that night. I lay in Devon's bed, staring at the ceiling, my stomach twisting with every breath. He had no idea he was wrapped around a ticking bomb. I turned to look at him. Peaceful, soft snore, arm thrown across my waist like we belonged to each other. But we didn't. I belonged to another man, his brother. When I finally slipped out of his house at sunrise, I couldn't even look at the wall again. Back home, my 3 kids were asleep. I stood over them, watching their tiny chests rise and fall. I used to think they were the anchor keeping me from drifting too far. Now I wasn't sure who I even was anymore. That morning, I texted my husband. "Me, do you have any siblings?" "Why?" "Just curious, never heard you talk about them." 1. Devon, haven't seen him in years. Lies. That one message shattered me all over again. Devon said they were close, said they talked, someone was lying and I didn't know who. But I had a bigger problem, a life growing inside me kind of problem. I couldn't tell either of them. Not yet. Later that week, Devon texted asking when I'd come back. I ignored it. He called twice. I finally answered. "Are you okay?" he asked. "Yeah, just tired," I lied. "You left real quick the other day. Everything good?" "Yeah, just had to get back to the kids." He paused. "You never talk about them." I froze. I'd kept that part of my life locked away. Devon only knew I had stuff going on. I never said what. I wanted to keep things simple. But now, things were anything but simple. I muttered something about being private, then hung up quickly. My mind was racing. Who else knew what? Did he suspect something? I decided to dig. I started with social media. Devon wasn't big on it, but I found an old tagged post. A cookout, a backyard, my husband grilling, Devon beside him holding a toddler. I clicked the tag, and there it was. A woman, pretty, smiling, clearly in love with my husband. Captions full of hearts and my king and our little family. My hands shook so bad I dropped my phone. He has another family, a second set of kids, and he told her there were only two. So which family is the real one? Me and my 3 kids, or her and hers? And now I'm pregnant by his brother. How is this my life? I stared at the mirror in the bathroom, touching my stomach like it would answer me. Suddenly, my phone buzzed again. A text from Devon. I have something I need to tell you. Can we meet? My heart stopped. Did he know? Was the truth unraveling faster than I could cover it? I texted back, tomorrow, your place. Whatever it was, I had to know. Before I lost control completely. I showed up at Devon's house the next evening, nerves buzzing like a hornet's nest in my chest. He opened the door and smiled. You came. I nodded, stepping in like I hadn't seen a photo of my husband on his wall just days before. We sat down. I was shaking. I thought maybe he was about to confess. Maybe he'd found out who I really was. Maybe this was the beginning of the end. Instead, he said, I've been thinking a lot about us. Us? I whispered. Yeah, you're different. I've dated, you know? But you got depth, realness. And I feel like I've been lying to myself about what I want. I blinked. I want something real with you. Something permanent. I wanted to scream. He reached into a drawer and pulled out a key. I know this might be crazy, but I want you to have this. Come and go as you please. I stared at it like it was a loaded gun. Devon. He cut me off. I know you got things you're not ready to share, but I'm patient. Just don't disappear on me, okay? I smiled. Fake. Hollow. Dying inside, because that was the moment it really hit me. I was destroying everything. Devon loved me. My husband was cheating. I was pregnant with his brother's baby. And nobody knew the full story except me. I went home that night, took a long shower, and cried until I couldn't feel my face. My stomach twisted. Not from the pregnancy. No, this was grief. I'd lost myself somewhere between lonely nights and quiet lies. The next day, I called my husband. He answered on the 3rd ring. Hey, he said, tired. I need to ask you something, I said. Okay. Do you have another family? Silence. Then, why would you ask that? Because I saw pictures. What pictures of you? At a cookout, with a woman, kids. Silence again. Then he hung up. Click. That was all the answer I needed. I was married to a stranger, sleeping with his brother, pregnant with a child I didn't ask for, and now I was completely, devastatingly alone. I didn't leave my bed for a day. Just lay there, lights off, blanket pulled to my chin like it could shield me from my own sins. But eventually the silence got too loud. I called my best friend, Tasha. I told her everything, from the first night at the bar to the positive pregnancy test to the photo wall. She was silent on the line for a while, then said, Girl, you need to tell Devon. I can't. You have to. What if he hates me? What if he doesn't? That night, I went to Devon's again, this time with a plan. I waited until we were both sitting down. There's something I need to say, I whispered. Okay, he said slowly. I'm married. He froze. And my husband is your brother. The look on his face, that moment will haunt me forever. His breath caught. What the hell did you just say? I didn't know at first. I swear I didn't. But I figured it out. That picture on your wall, that's my husband. Devon stood up so fast the glass he was holding shattered on the floor. You're lying. I'm not. His eyes were wild. You've been lying to me for 2 years. I didn't know, I cried. He turned away, gripping the back of a chair like it was the only thing keeping him standing. I'm pregnant, I added quietly. His shoulders tensed. He turned back around slowly. Is it mine? I nodded, tears rolling down my cheeks. He didn't say a word, just stared at me, like I was a ghost. And maybe I was. The ghost of every choice I should have never made. The silence between us could have cracked concrete. Devon didn't kick me out, but he didn't speak either, just paced, back and forth, hands on his head. Finally, he whispered, My brother, that bastard. My eyes widened. Wait, what? He looked at me, bitter. You're not the first. What? He sat down hard. He did the same thing to my ex. Back when I was engaged, she left me for him. I should have known. My mouth fell open. I thought I was over it, he muttered, but he always ruins everything I care about. I leaned forward. Devon, this wasn't about revenge, was it? No, I didn't know who you were, but maybe this is karma. Just not the kind I wanted. That night, we talked for hours. Real talk. Ugly truths. Devon didn't forgive me, but he didn't turn away either. He wanted to figure things out, and I wasn't alone anymore. Now we had a new secret, one that could burn the whole family to the ground. And for the first time in 2 years, I wasn't afraid to light the match. 3 days passed and everything felt like it was dangling over a cliff. Devon and I weren't really together anymore, but we weren't apart either. We were two people tied together by a secret, both orbiting the same lie. The baby, the betrayal, the twisted family tree. And then Devon called me, voice sharp. You need to come over now. My heart slammed in my chest. What's wrong? My brother's here, at my house. I nearly dropped the phone. What? He just showed up. Said he was in town for a surprise visit. Yeah, right. I think he suspects something. I grabbed my keys and flew out the door. When I got to Devon's place, my husband was sitting on the couch, cool as hell, legs crossed, sipping from a glass of water like he owned the world. Hey, babe, he said casually. I froze. Devon wouldn't even look at me. I sat down slowly, my pulse in my ears. So, my husband said, turning to his brother. This your girl? The tension in the room was violent. Devon shrugged. Something like that. My husband laughed. She's pretty? I didn't say a word. Then he turned to me. You ever gonna tell me what's been going on? I opened my mouth, but he held up a hand. I figured it out, you know. Took me a minute. But when my girlfriend showed me your little mommy blog pictures online with 3 kids who looked just like mine, I started doing math. I felt the blood leave my face. You cheated first, I blurted. He laughed cold. So that makes this okay? You had another family, I snapped. He leaned back. And you slept with my brother. The room was spinning. Devon finally stood up. All right, that's enough. Y'all want to destroy each other? Cool, but leave me out of it. I turned to him, panicked. You are part of it. No, he said, pointing. He is the manipulator. I'm just the dumbass who caught feelings. My husband stood. You always catch feelings for my leftovers. Devon lunged. I screamed. The two of them nearly went at it, but I jumped between them. Stop! They both froze. I stood there, chest heaving. You want the truth? Fine. I'm pregnant. Both men stared at me. Devon was the first to speak. Is it mine? I nodded. My husband's jaw clenched so hard I thought his teeth might shatter. So that's it? You throw away 8 years of marriage for this? No, I said. You threw it away when you started living a double life. He sneered. You think you're going to run off into the sunset with him? He'll leave you too. That's what we do. I didn't reply. I just turned to Devon. I don't want your pity. I don't want drama, but I'm keeping the baby, and I'm done hiding. He nodded slowly, eyes locked on mine. Then we do it right. No more secrets. But I didn't know then that this wasn't over. Not even close. Because a week later, a letter showed up at my door. Custody papers, filed by my husband. He was trying to take my kids. Not just the unborn one. All of them. I stared at the envelope like it had fangs. My husband, well, ex-husband-to-be now, was filing for full custody of my kids. The 3 little boys I had carried, nursed, rocked to sleep. The ones he barely saw. The ones who asked every night, when's Daddy coming home? Now he wanted to take them from me. Why? Revenge. Control. Punishment. I could feel the rage swelling in my chest like a balloon ready to pop. Devon was sitting on the couch, watching me silently. He hadn't said much since the blow-up at his place. We'd both been quiet, moving like we were afraid to break the fragile peace between us. I sat down, breathing shallow. He's trying to destroy me. Devon leaned forward. Then don't let him. I can't fight him. He's overseas. He's got military connections. He's got money. So do you. Devon's voice was low but fierce. You got your kids. You got the truth. And you've got me. I looked at him, stunned. He exhaled. I've already started talking to someone, a lawyer. She's good. She owes me a favor. Why would you? Because I believe you, and I believe in that baby. That was the first time he'd referred to the child like it was real, like it mattered. Something inside me cracked open. He kept going. We fight fire with facts. Your husband's not exactly squeaky clean. We expose the other family. We show that he's been lying under oath, living a double life, financially supporting 2 households. I blinked. That would ruin him. Devon's eyes didn't waver. Good. I paused. What if he turns on you? He already has, Devon muttered. He's been turning on me since we were 12. That night, we made a plan. We started gathering everything: screenshots, emails, texts from years back where my husband had let things slip. Old social posts of the other woman bragging about vacations, gifts, their babies born in Germany. We even found a registry from a second baby shower, dated just months after my 3rd son was born. It was like he hadn't even tried to hide it. I contacted my own lawyer, too. She was a single mother who'd been through a similar case. He messed with the wrong mama, she said. I almost cried on the spot. By the end of the week, we had a war chest full of receipts. But the biggest blow came from an unexpected place. Tasha. She called me out of nowhere and said, "I need to show you something." She pulled up a video on her phone. It was grainy, but clear enough. My husband, at a bar, kissing a woman, not the other woman, a third. Tasha zoomed in. "My cousin works there. She took this a year ago, didn't even realize it was him until I showed her your picture." I sat back in my chair. "He's a serial cheater." "No, girl," Tasha said. "He's a villain, and it's time people saw it." By the end of that night, Devon and I were ready. He helped me set up a hidden folder online, password protected, where all the receipts lived. And then I sent my husband a message. "We need to talk. I have something you should see before the judge does." The trap was set. All that was left now was to spring it. I didn't go to that cookout for revenge. I went because Devon's mom invited me. She said she wanted to meet the woman carrying her grandbaby. Her warmth caught me off guard, like she was proud. "I always said that boy would make a great dad someday," she chuckled on the phone. "Can't wait to meet you, baby." I didn't expect it to feel like family, but it did, until I saw him, my husband, standing in the backyard, dapping people up like it was his cookout. I froze mid-step. Devon saw it too. His jaw tightened, but he didn't stop walking. He slid his hand into mine and kept moving. We made our way toward the grill, where their dad was flipping burgers, laughing like this was just another sunny Saturday. He looked right at me, smiled, and said, "You must be Devon's girl. Welcome." That nearly broke me, because that man, the one smiling, was also the father of the man who nearly ruined my life, and he had no idea. Devon's mom came over and hugged me like I was already family. "Glad you made it, sweetheart?" My husband watched the whole thing, smirking from across the yard. Not shocked, not confused, smirking. That's when I knew he'd never told them about me, or our kids. They thought Germany was his only life. He made me a side chick in my own marriage. "Let's toast," someone shouted. Everyone gathered around the picnic tables, red cups raised. Devon stepped up. "To truth," he said loudly. "To the kind that don't hide in shadows." People chuckled, not knowing where this was going. I reached into my bag and pulled out the Bluetooth speaker, set it on the table, pressed play. My husband's voice rang out. "I only claim the 2 kids in Germany. The ones here? She tricked me. They're probably not even mine." Gasps sliced through the crowd like a blade. Devon raised his phone, showing side-by-side photos of my 3 sons and the 2 in Germany. "They're all his," Devon said. "He's been living 2 lives, 2 families, lying to all of us." Then a new voice spoke up. Her voice, the woman from Germany. "You told me she was your ex, said she stalked you." My husband moved fast. "Baby, listen. Don't you baby me," she shouted, shoving his arm away. All around us, phones were up, recording, capturing the fall of a fraud. And then their father, his father, stepped forward, looking at me hard. "Wait, you're saying he is the father of your kids?" I nodded, slow. 3 boys, ages 7, 5, and 2. He staggered back. "You mean to tell me I have 3 grandkids I didn't even know existed?" Silence. His face went red, then pale, then red again. "You lied to me," he growled at his son. "You let me think those boys in Germany were it. What kind of man hides his own blood?" My husband tried to talk, but his father cut him off. "You make me ashamed to be your father." Devon's mom stepped in. "I told you, that boy don't care who he hurts. Been that way since high school." I dropped a manila folder on the table. Flight records, dual credit cards, hidden accounts. This man's been playing everyone. Then I looked him dead in the eye. "And you tried to take my kids from me?" He looked trapped, cornered. And I held my stomach and said, clear as day, this baby won't ever have to lie about who he is or who he belongs to. Then I turned and walked out, with Devon beside me and his whole family watching the truth burn. I didn't sleep that night. Even after the cookout. Even after the truth detonated in the backyard like a family landmine. Even after the cameras stopped rolling and people went home with their mouths still hanging open. I lay awake, staring at the ceiling fan, wondering if I had done too much or not enough. My phone buzzed just after 6 a.m. It was a message from Devon's mom. Whatever happens next, you got a place here. That baby is ours too now. I didn't even know how to respond. I just stared at the screen until the tears finally came. Not from pain this time, from relief. Devon was already up, pacing in the living room. He was still rattled. He's dangerous, he said. Not in a gun-to-your-head way, in a burn-your-life-down-in-the-dark kind of way. I nodded. He already tried. A few days later, the ripple effects hit. His Germany girlfriend, well, ex now, posted everything. Screenshots, videos. A side-by-side breakdown of his two lives. Her post went viral on Facebook and TikTok. People were calling him the dual daddy. Memes, reaction videos, stitch after stitch. He deleted all his social media within 48 hours. But the real punch came in court. We showed up with everything. Our receipts, the lawyer Devon helped me find, and a mountain of character statements from neighbors, teachers, and even Devon's dad. Yes, his own father testified against him. I didn't even know these kids existed until a week ago, he said to the judge. But I'm standing here to make sure they don't get erased again. My ex tried to spin it, claimed I was unstable, that the pregnancy was a manipulation tactic, that Devon coerced me while he was overseas, but his credibility had already collapsed. The judge cut him off mid-sentence. This isn't just a custody case. This is a trail of deception that you orchestrated across 2 continents, and the only consistent thing about you is your dishonesty. Boom. Temporary full custody granted to me. His visitation was suspended pending further review. I walked out of that courtroom breathing like I hadn't in years. But consequences hit more than legal. Back in Germany, word got out. The military base opened an investigation into his conduct. Misuse of travel funds, dishonesty on federal forms, double housing allowances. Devon called me the night it broke. They might discharge him, he said. Good, I said. Let him rebuild from scratch like he tried to make me do. But even with the wins, it wasn't all victory laps. My oldest son asked me one night, is Daddy still mad at us? I paused, throat tight. No, baby. Daddy's just confused. He nodded like he understood more than he should. Sometimes that's the part that hurts the most. Not the betrayal, not the lies, not even the loss, but the damage they leave behind in tiny hearts. Still, we were healing. Devon was around more. My boys started calling him Uncle D without being told. And me, I was learning to forgive myself, to breathe, to hold my head up in the grocery store, to look in the mirror and see a mother, not a mess. One night, Devon and I sat on the porch watching the sun set behind the trees. Did you ever think we'd end up here? I asked. He laughed softly. Not in a million years. I looked down at my belly, felt a little kick. Maybe this baby didn't come from the perfect situation, but he came from truth, from fire, from a woman who refused to disappear, and that had to count for something. 8 weeks later, I was in labor. Devon held my hand the entire time, sweat beading on his forehead like he was the one pushing. When the baby finally arrived, screaming and strong, he cried harder than I did. It's a boy, the nurse smiled. We already knew, but hearing it made it real. We named him Justice, because that's what he was. Not just a child, but a reckoning, a reminder, a reset. Devon never left my side. He fed him, rocked him, changed diapers like it was instinct. I kept waiting for him to disappear, but he never did. 3 weeks later, we were home, adjusting to our new normal. That's when the letter came. No name, no return address, just a slim envelope in the mailbox with my name written in sharp, slanted handwriting. I opened it slowly. Inside was a photo, an old one, dated about 10 years ago. It was a wedding picture, but not my wedding. It was my husband, marrying another woman, in another country, dated before our wedding, before the kids. I blinked, heart thudding. Taped to the back was a sticky note. He was never legally yours. He was married before you and still is. Germany keeps records. Signed, a friend. I sat down on the porch, stunned. If this was true, our marriage wasn't even real, which meant everything I thought I was losing, the betrayal, the custody battle, the pain of being the other woman, it was all flipped. I was never the wife. I was the side. The truth gutted me like a fresh blade, but oddly it also freed me, because I never broke the vows. He did. From the beginning. I showed the photo to Devon. He stared at it for a long time. He's a monster. I nodded, silent. Then he looked at me. So you're not even legally tied to him? Nope, he smiled. Then let's write your first real last name on Justice's birth certificate. That moment felt like shedding a skin I never chose to wear. We took the picture to our lawyer. She was giddy. This changes everything, she said. We're going to have the entire case dismissed. You don't owe that man a dime. Turns out he'd already been discharged from the military. Quietly. No fanfare. Dishonorably. His double life cost him everything. Devon's father started showing up to visit the boys. He apologized over and over for being blind. I should have asked more questions. I should have looked deeper. I told him, you see them now. That's what matters. One night we had everyone over for dinner. Tasha, Devon's mom, even his dad. The boys ran around the living room laughing while baby Justice slept in Devon's arms. It didn't look perfect. It didn't start perfect. But it felt real. I never thought I'd have this again. I whispered. Devon kissed my forehead. You didn't get it again. You built it from scratch. And just when I thought the story was finished, my oldest son tugged my shirt and whispered, Uncle D should marry you. I laughed. Why's that? Because we already love him, and he already loves us. Devon heard him. He looked over, smiled, not a word. But something in his eyes said, yeah, one day. Maybe not now, but soon. Because this story didn't start with love. It started with lies, but it was ending with truth. Wow, what a ride. If you enjoyed this twist-filled journey, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Stories by Laine for more unforgettable drama and surprises. And before you go, what would you have done if you were in her shoes? Would you have kept the secret, stayed silent, or gone full revenge mode? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Hit that notification bell so you never miss a story that'll keep you on the edge of your seat. Thanks for watching, and remember, twists you will not see coming await in every chapter.